Hey, what is up, fellow Raiders? This is Vulcan Dan, and in today's Raid Shadow Legends video, we are going to talk about the times 10 shard event that will start tomorrow on Friday and that will end on Sunday. And also, don't forget that the next clan versus clan will also start this Sunday. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to get your Vildrax fragments because this will be the last event or the last day that we will have Vildrax fragments from the champion training event, and we also have a Fire Night tournament, so make sure you get those. All right, and as you can see, we have a summon rush that will start in around 17 hours, and that is usually the countdown for the start of the times 10 shard event this weekend. Now, the theme for this weekend is block buffs. So we have 4 legendary champions and 4 epic champions, 1 void and 3 non-voids for each of those rarities. All right, so let's take a look at the first one. The first one is to Hanorach, which is a void legendary from the barbarians. And yeah, this champion right here is kind of like Doom Priest, but in a legendary skin. She has this passive that removes a random debuff from all allies at the start of each turn, which is of course similar to what Doom Priest does, but Doom Priest also has that additional 7.5% heal. But this champion does not have that, but of course she brings a lot of other things that Doom Priest does not. She has heals on her A1, so that sort of makes up for the lack of heals on her passive, and she also places a decreased speed, and she has this A2 that just hits one target but places decreased attack and block buff. So this is where the block buffs come from, and she will apply a debuff spread, taking 2 random debuffs from the target and spreading it to the other enemy. So yeah, so this is a pretty cool skill. It's a little bit random because if there are other debuffs on the target, then of course you have no control over what debuffs will be spread. But assuming these are the only 2, then this is simply an AoE decrease attack and block buffs, which is also quite good. But take note that you will only hit 1 enemy. Same with her A1 as well, so you don't really want to be building her up with a lot of damage. She is a support champion, and of course she does have her damage scales off of defense. She does have some decent defense, but don't build her to hit hard. You'll just want her for the skills that she has. Her A3 is not a hit. It applies increased defense and increased speed to all of your allies for 2 turns, and this can be booked to a 3-turn cooldown. So a solid skill. Overall, she's just an okay legendary. For a void champion, I think she could be much better because, of course, as an epic, we do have Doom Priest that does the same thing. But yeah, pretty good, but not... I don't think she's a top tier, but she's somewhere in the middle in terms of legendary champions. All right. So that's the first one. Next one is we have Rushker the Tower, which is of course more known in those unkillable clan boss teams with his A3, places a block damage buff on all allies for 2 turns, can be booked down to a 4-turn cooldown, but the block buffs come from his A2, places a block active skills and a block buff for 2 turns, cannot be resisted, but this is just a single target skill, and his A1 removes a random buff from the target. So yeah, but people normally just forget about his A1 and his A2 and just focus on this A3 for that unkillable clan boss team. All right, next one is we have Norog from the Skinwalker. So yeah, so this guy also features in some clan boss teams because of his passive. He's immune to stun and other debuffs, so you can use him as your stun target in the clan boss, and he decreases the damage taken by all allies that are under 1 or more buffs by 15%, and if they have no buffs, that goes up to 25%. So of course this is very useful for the clan boss to last longer in that fight so that you can deal more damage to the clan boss. His A1 places a block active skill, and his A2 is an AoE block buff. This is a very cool skill, can be booked down to a 3-turn cooldown. So yeah, he's solid. You can use him in faction wars, especially this skill is very important there. He is defense based, does have good defense, so he can last long in that fight. Yeah, so Norog right here works well in faction wars, works well in clan boss. Quite a cool champion. Last legendary is Lady Kimmy, which is I think the best out of these 4 legendary champions. She is magic affinity support from the Shadowkin. She has this nice, really huge increase ally speed in Doom Tower by 30%. She does have 115 speed. I think this is the highest speed in the game. I think she's tied with one other champion that I'm forgetting right now. But yeah, she does have this. She has this decreased accuracy and decreased speed on her A2, and she has increased accuracy and increased speed on her A3. So she will speed up your team and she will slow down the other team. She makes your champions hit the debuffs, and she will make the other team less likely to hit those debuffs. She also has this block buffs on her A3. Yeah, so very solid champion. You do see her a lot in arena. She's a pain to deal with, especially if the enemy builds her with really high speed. So yeah, probably the best champion among these times 10 for this weekend. I don't have any of the legendaries, but I'm saving shards for the Christmas fusion, which we are expecting in a little bit because, of course, we still do not know what that is. I'm hoping it's a good one. I hope it's not another Pixneal kind of champion. Pixneal, even after the buff, is quite underwhelming. So hopefully we get a lot better champion this year. Yeah. So I do have 34 ancient shards, 37 voids, 6 sacreds. I do want to save these for those ×2 event for the Christmas fusion, or if we're forced to do another summon rush, another ×10 weekend during the Christmas fusion. So I would prefer to save my shards for this weekend. But let's get to the epics. All right, for the epics, our legendary, our void epic is Umbral. Yeah, so this is a very cool champion that is used a lot in the arena, mainly because of her A3 AoE, 100% chance to place a provoke for 2 turns. 2-turn provoke or 2-turn any CC is very good in this game because it's quite rare. Most CCs like stuns, provoke only last for 1 turn. This is a 2-turn provoke. So if you're able to land this in the arena, you're more or less guaranteed a victory. She does place a block active skill on herself, which prevents her from using her A2. Her A2 is an AoE block buff for 3 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. So it's a nice A2 as well. So you'll probably have to decide which one you want to use, the AoE provoke or the AoE block buffs. Either way, both are very good skills. So yeah, very cool champion here. Next one is we have Hugo. Where is Hugo? There you go. Yeah, so he has this AoE A2 that has decreased defense and block buffs, and this is probably the best thing in her kit. She does have this nice AoE heal on her A3 with a chance to remove a random debuff, and this has a chance to revive, but this has to be or all of your allies have to be dead for this to be activated. Personally, I've used Hugo in a lot of my teams. This has never happened, so it's very situational. But this heal is good, so this is a decent skill. But really, her main use is this A2 AoE decreased defense and block buffs. All right. After that, let's go to one of my favorite epics, which is Phoenix. Yeah, I still use this guy in Ice Golem because his A1 really makes short work of those minions of the Ice Golem boss. Places that block revives is if this guy places that final hit to kill those minions. Very hard hitting A1 as well, so build him with a lot of attack, a lot of crit damage. He does have this nice A2 AoE block buffs, and if you don't place a block buff, you will place a block active skill instead. This is a very cool skill also for the Ice Golem for wave 2 in stage 20 to prevent those champions from placing that reflect damage. So yeah, so Phoenix, very good for Ice Golem. If you have him, I highly recommend you use him there. A3 is not that impressive. 60% chance of placing decreased defense and decreased speed on one enemy on a 4-turn cooldown when booked. This skill, I usually just turn this off. I don't really know why they made this skill. Should have been 100%. It's only a single target. Maybe because his A1 and his A2 are pretty good, so they decided to give him a trash A3. But yeah, I would suggest that you just simply deactivate this A3 when you're using him. Last champion is from the Shadowkin, and that is Chanuru. Yeah. This girl has a block buff on her A1, so it's just a single target, can be booked up to 50%. She has this 3 times random hitter on her A3 that plays as weaken, which is kind of weird. I would really prefer this to be an AoE hit. And then her A3 is quite unique because it removes all increased defense from all enemies, then attacks them, then decreases the cooldown of this skill, which is already on a 3-turn cooldown. So this can be reduced to a 2-turn or a 1-turn, or you can get this again in the next turn for each enemy that you kill with this skill. Yeah, so this is a cool hard hitting A3 that removes the increased defense. But yeah, her block buffs is in her A1. But I would say if you're looking for epics to build from the Shadowkin factions in preparation for the Shadowkin faction war that we're expecting sometime in January, I would suggest some other champion, not Chanuru. Burangiri is a nice one. Toragi, Hotatsu with his leech, decrease attack, increase defense and heals. Toragi is a good support champion as well. Burangiri. Who else? Genbo, if you really want damage. Sachi has that nice AoE A1, so you can place her in a stun set. And currently, she is still, up until now, she is the only champion in the faction that has to revive, and it's on her passive. Yeah, so those are just my suggestions. And yeah, those are the 8 champions that we will have for the ×10 event this weekend. Personally, I will not pull shards for this one. I would prefer to save my shards for, again, the Christmas fusion. So yeah, I hope you guys are ready for that one. I hope you guys got your Vildrax. I am. Let me check my fragments for Vildrax. There you go. 110. I'm still completing my Fire Knight, so I'll get 120. I'm not sure if it's useful or it's any use if I get more than 100 fragments, but maybe they will again give us those extra fragment events next time so that we'll get a second copy of these champions. All right, so that is it for today's video, and as you can see, we have this nice Christmas theme design right here. We have the 3 starter champions here. We have Gaelic, Aethel, and Kale right there. Notice that we don't have Elhain. This is because, or at least from what I remember, is that Elhain was eaten up in the tutorial by the dragon, so that is the reason why we don't have her right here, which is quite sad. Elhain was actually my starter champion for this account, so I would really love to see her here. But yeah, just have the 3 starter champions. All right, that is it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video.